This guy's full of energy. He's always dancing around. He's always jumping around. He's bringing the latest thoughts. He's encouraging agents to do what they should be doing.
So I got in real estate because I had a bad experience with a real estate agent who was successful. And I thought, damn, if this guy's killing it, I'm gonna really do well in this business because I knew about prospecting, I knew about sales, I knew about taking care of my clients. And that's what started me in 2005. So now 17 years later, still going strong. I think the metaverse is going to play a much bigger part in real estate than most people think. I think right now a lot of folks are just laughing it off, going, "Oh yeah, an imaginary world." Yo, there's people taking listings right now in the metaverse while you're asleep at the wheel. So you know, a year from now, 2 years from now, we'll be talking about how we just had this meeting in our virtual office in the metaverse that we paid money for on a lease to somebody that owns that property as part of a chain of properties, you know? So I think that's the future.
Welcome to the Top Real Estate Influencers podcast with your hosts, Mario Hurley and Alex Montalenti. And Mario's got my name on his name tag right now, so he's going to switch that up. You got two Alex Montalentis for the price of one. And you got the JMan, JMan Speaks. This guy's I've been following him on social media. This guy's full of energy. He's always dancing around. He's always jumping around. He's bringing the latest thoughts. He's encouraging agents to do what they should be doing. And I'm excited to have him on here and bring the energy to everybody else. It's contagious when I watch you on Instagram. So I'm really blessed to have you on the call.
Well, thanks for having me. My pleasure to be here.
Yeah, well, welcome, JMan. We're going to ask you the question we ask all the time, which is, how did you get into real estate? Like, tell us the whole story, why real estate, the whole thing.
Yeah, so I got in real estate because I had a bad experience with a real estate agent who was successful. And I thought, damn, if this guy's killing it, I'm going to really do well in this business because I knew about prospecting, I knew about sales, I knew about taking care of my clients. And that's what started me in 2005. So now 17 years later, still going strong.
Beautiful. So it was the messiness of it and seeing somebody killing it, not doing it the way it should be done, but still killing it.
Yeah, I was like, this guy really, and he's successful. Okay, no brainer. I'm getting in.
Awesome.
So then you're in real estate. You're doing it the way you know that works better. You're not repeating, the same nonsense other agents you saw were doing. What is now, like, what is your next step? What is your vision, basically? The reason why I'm asking is because we've been talking constantly with influencers, and we're all saying 2022 is going to be so different than anything you've ever known due to so many things that happen, right? So we're all talking about, what is your vision for the future? What are you doing for the future? What do you envision that's going to happen?
I think the metaverse is going to play a much bigger part in real estate than most people think. I think right now a lot of folks are just laughing it off, going, "Oh yeah, an imaginary world." Yo, there's people taking listings right now in the metaverse while you're asleep at the wheel. So you know, a year from now, 2 years from now, we'll be talking about how we just had this meeting in our virtual office in the metaverse that we paid money for on a lease to somebody that owns that property as part of a chain of properties, you know? So I think that's the future. Just gotta get on or disappear.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I was just at an event last night and they were all about the metaverse and I mean, we've been in the EXP world, which is, kind of a form of a metaverse. And we've done classes in there, like we full on avatars, real agents behind an avatar, and we're conducting business and they're conducting business. Transactions are happening. People think you can't make money in the metaverse. My kids can make money in the metaverse right now. Like they can get on Roblox and start selling stuff.
100. Yeah. So I got two boys, 6 and 11. And I talk about that all like, oh, people aren't going to like, yo, how much money my kid spends on Roblox? At Christmas, he got so many Robux. It's unbelievable. And I'm like, so what do you do with that? Well, we go buy these things. These things are imaginary, right? It's imaginary clothes, imaginary hats, all this, the skins, all that. Like they're already doing it. And they're our future consumers, right? 5, 10, 15 years from now, they're going to be so used to spending money online in these imaginary worlds. They're ready. They're prepped.
I love that. I love that you guys are both mentioning your children. So is there a language that, the more old school but want to become new school realtors should be using? Like, what would you recommend that they should be getting themselves involved in so that they could get more acclimated to what's happening now?
Should follow me. I mean, it's just don't be. I think the biggest thing is just don't be afraid, right? The agents that are like, well, we've always done this. Happy retirement. Like, okay, those times are done. If 2020 didn't teach you something, and then 2021 again, it's like that there was such an accelerated curve that had to happen, right? It might have happened 10 years from now, but because agents had to do video, because they had to do things virtually, they did. But if they were given the choice, it would have still been, oh no, we like to, no, I'm going to come to your house and we're going to sign paperwork with a pen and paper, and like it's going to go in my briefcase, and like it's done, man. It's just don't have any fear. Adapt new things.
I love that, because I used to scream about this all the time. Like, why do I have to come meet you at the Starbucks when we can just hop on Zoom? Oh, Zoom? I'm not doing Zoom. Well, yeah, now COVID happened. Everybody's got to be on Zoom, right? And now COVID's happening again. So you actually get a redo, right? Like, okay, you didn't catch on when COVID happened then. Okay, here's your redo, because it's about to happen again. Right. And then this whole other world is opening up. But no, those are just kids in there, And I think the biggest thing I learned from my kids is, like, the kids are the ones teaching us about the next trend. Who was on Facebook first? Our kids. Who was on Instagram first? Our kids. Who was on TikTok first? For real. My kids were on TikTok way before anybody was on TikTok.
Oh, 100%. My kid was trying to make me do these dances way before I was ready.
Exactly. So it's like, we should really just listen to like what they're on. And they were doing Roblox, and they were buying magical swords, and and now we can buy houses.
Right.
Let's go.
I like that. So basically, we're talking about this virtual world that's becoming really the world, where you use real money, where you're making real transactions. And the name of the game is get in on that now. Don't wait 10 years from now to see what happens, because by then you might just disappear. Okay.
Yeah, I think one good example, and this didn't click for me till recently, because I was always like telling my kids, why are you watching all these YouTube videos? Right? I'm like, why are you watching somebody play a game? And then I watch my son watch somebody do something in Minecraft, and then go to his iPad and do that same something. It clicked. They're tutorials.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, holy cow, this like big awakening. Like, he's learning all these things because these people are better at it than them. So it's the same thing. Like, follow people in the real estate industry that are like at the edge of the curve, and say, okay, I'm watching, I'm learning, and then go step by step and then learn from them. Same concepts, just different generations.
And JMan, I know you have a podcast. Yes.
Yeah.
So
I got a couple things to do.
Share with us, like, what are some of your, do you have any projects coming up? Anything that agents should know about?
I got a couple products. One's called JMan's Lister Predictor. It uses, big data, predictive analytics. It's powered by Revaluate. And basically they upload their sphere. It tells them who's likely to sell. But then I partnered with a CRM to kind of make it smarter, create triggers when they reach certain points, and creates campaigns so that you can stay top of mind with those people. And then I'm big into messenger bots. I build them, I design them. Just love them.
You're talking about like many chats?
ManyChat, exactly right. Yeah, my messaging solution is called Sir Bot a Lot. Kick them nasty bots. JMan got bots. Yeah.
I love it. How would you describe messenger bots to the average realtor?
Automated conversation with a personal touch. Right? If we said to anybody, hey, if you're talking to a seller, how would that conversation go? You could script that out. Right? How long have you been in the home? Do you have a mortgage? Are there any other liens or encumbrances on the property? What improvements have you done? I can predict that conversation. I can have it done in an automated way through Messenger. And at the end, have have all the answers to the questions that I was going to ask of somebody who really didn't want to talk to me, right? I mean, today's consumer, they don't want to hop on the phone with us. They don't want us to come to their house. They're scared that if I show up at the door, you're going to list your house, which is probably true. Closer, baby. But they rather do something anonymously, right? That's why the big tech companies became so popular. You could go to their site and push a button and you tell me what my home is worth. And so I have all these conversations already scripted out so that somebody, you provide resources to these folks. You just keep providing resources. You keep providing resources, and then they pick you. It's no longer closing them on using you. It's just exceeding their expectations and giving them that information when they're in that zero moment of truth, right? When they're gathering information before they ever decide to call an agent.
So I have a perfect story to go along with that. So I'm currently looking for a new apartment, right? A new apartment for rent in Miami Beach. I go on realtor.com, click, interested in these 5 properties. So here's what happens.
Blood in the water.
5 properties. I don't hear boo for like 24 hours. And then one of them clicks in with a text message. Oh, saw your interest on realtor.com, standard text message, clearly not written by the realtor. And I was like, oh, okay, automated text message, at least that, because everybody else is sleeping at the wheel. Okay, then I don't respond for 24 hours. That same agent sends me a follow-up text, again, scripted and automated. Okay, great. I respond, hey, not looking right now, just shopping around. So then an automated response comes to that based on what I wrote, which is like a messenger bot, right?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, now the next agent comes in 3 days later, like just wakes up from a long nap and says, oh, interested in a property? Yeah, I was 3 days ago, but okay, let's talk. And then I respond, no response, because they don't know what to say. Right. So they haven't even like scripted their own conversation in their head of how this is going to go, let alone automate the process. Right. So that's what I love about what you're talking about is like you do that once and you kind of know how to answer people as they come to you. And then eventually you just automate the process. And that works because the agent who had the automated responses is actually the one I'm most interested in working with, because although automated, was responsive, actually answered my questions.
Right.
Right.
Well, even let's say you clicked on a property and I said, Alex, we're going to show you that property as soon as humanly possible. Don't click on any other agents. You made the right choice. And you say, okay, or you reply in any way. I then say, okay, do you need to be pre-approved or are you going to be paying for it cash? Right. I give you kind of choices. Well, I need to be pre-approved. Okay. Do you have a bank that you're working with or would you prefer a referral from us? I need a referral. Okay, great. Here's 3 people we've worked with in the past. Do you want them to call you or would you like to call them? I want to call them. Perfect. Here's their contact information. Make it a great day. Like we've just had that. It's as if we had it because it's the exact conversation I would have with you. I've given you everything you need, like on a platter, but then also walked away because I think the challenge with our industry is like if you walked into a brokerage and said, I want to buy a house in Miami, right? It'd be like blood in the water. The sharks would have got you. They would have pulled you out and fought over you in the street. And it's like that we're these hungry people that just need to close deals. And I think when you can just provide service and then walk away, that they're going to choose you 100% of the time.
That goes back to all about permission marketing.
Yeah, permission-based marketing.
Yes, where you don't sell the people, you give them so much value. It's a logical step and they feel good about themselves. Like, oh, I did this, right? I found out all the information. I'm a genius. I got all this research down packed. This is the right choice. I do it all the time on Amazon. Now, how do you implement this on your social media?
The permission-based marketing?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just like we said, I mean, with the messenger bots, it basically say, if we're talking about me as a speaker and I'm talking about agents that might come to my page, say, is it okay if we stay in touch with you when we're going to go live? Yes or no? If you say yes, I'm only like, it's permission based, right? There's a social contract there where I've said, I'm only going to contact you when I go live. Is that okay? Yes. That's all you're going to get from me. Not like, hey, we're launching a new product. Would you like to be part of our coaching program? And then you got all these dudes that are like, bro, I never gave you permission to add me to your list, number one. Number two, you don't stop. So now I have to unsubscribe, which means I won't get any other communication from you ever from that email address.
So you're looking for the yes. Once you got the yes, we're good.
I'm looking for the relationship. Is what I would say, right? I'm looking to build rapport. I want them to see value in what I offer. And then I am their friend in whatever that social contract is, whatever that relationship is, whether it's realtor, client, whether it's speaker, real estate agent. Like we're all humans in the end. And I think people like people who are like them. And that's where, like, if you see my marketing, the things that I do, I'm the same person here in this Zoom as you would see me at Triple Play, as you'd see me online. It's the same. Authenticity rings true. And I think that's what's missing a lot of times.
And where are you seeing, like, where are you putting all your eggs? Like, we're always constantly training our agents to look to Instagram and Facebook. And then once you have, you develop a little consistency there, little personality. Okay, now expand to other platforms. Is that your approach, or do you just go on all platforms? Like, how do you approach that?
I don't think you can master all platforms. I think you could if you did no other work ever, right? That was your thing. But for me, it's Facebook and Instagram. And I love within Facebook specifically. I love live streaming. I'm well over into the thousands of live streams that I've done. And I love that. I love, like, what we're doing now, that it's not planned out. I would never want it to be a script because I feel like life's not scripted. And, within Facebook and Instagram, I do okay. And then TikTok, I love because it's fun. And I do that with the kids, right? Like Alex said. And I went into Clubhouse. I almost switched from Android to iPhone just for Clubhouse because I had so much FOMO. I'm just that guy, like, oh my God, there's a new social media. I got to get on it. It's only on, right? And I almost switched. I almost traded in my Samsung for that. And I didn't. I waited till they reset it on Samsung, but now I have an iPhone. Different story. But I think there's too much effort. Return on time's not there. The amount of time you have to stay on Clubhouse to be an influencer on there is, like, not worth it for me. I've already put a lot, and for me, I'm a visual brand. People see me, my personality. It's seeing and hearing, not just hearing. I don't feel like I have a very distinctive voice where they go, "Oh, that's JMan's voice," Yeah. So Facebook, Instagram. Well, thanks. I mean, when every time, if you do your own video editing, you get to not like your voice after a while because it's like all I hear Steve Urkel from Family Matters, right? Like, hi, Laura, how are you? Oh, that's what I sound. But hey, I got a good microphone. I put it in dark mode. Sound a little bit like Barry White,
Yeah, Mario's got that.
Actually, I can give you tips on that. Okay, I have something I learned myself. What I do is I go inside a padded room, and then what you do is you go take a deep breath, and then you yawn. Do it like 5 times, and then your voice will be 10 times sexier. It has worked for us incredibly well. Whenever we do marketing via voice, people hear that and they show up.
Wow, I was thinking about how sexy your voice was, actually, and I was wondering what your secret might be. So thank you.
I just gave it away.
It's like Super Mario, let's go, dude.
Super Mario yawns in the closet. That's what happens.
That's what happens. So talk to us about technology. All right. We are a technology company. We've been doing this for 21 years. We can write a book about this. We really are firm believers in this. We built our own software. Of course, we believe what we do is better than what's out there in the market. Not everything. Some things we do have competition that's interesting. But in your thoughts, like, how do you see technology benefits the obvious and not so obvious ways any real estate professional?
I just think systems and efficiency. Like, the more you can refine your systems and do the things that you don't need to do as the CEO of your own company, which every agent is, right? If I call you going, I'm putting in a listing. What? Are you serious? Why would you do that? Nobody can do it like, really? Nobody can do it like you. Nobody can input the photos like you. Like, there's the skill set that's involved with that. So I think technology, like systems, and just refining everything that you do and trying to be the most efficient that you can, so that you're only talking to buyers and sellers, or working on your brand, or building your brand, or creating content. I can't delegate what we're doing right now, to somebody, but I can delegate the fact that I have to write an offer. It's already written. I just have to have my client click the buttons, right? 5 years, 10 years ago, we'd have to go to their house. It's just and especially like if you're from New York or somewhere like that, man, these big cities, Miami, Florida, traffic, all, snowstorms, not Miami, but
Take
New
you
York.
out for a day.
Yeah. I mean, it's like using technology to make your business better, but also to enhance your services. Because you might still send an email. I'll send a video to my client and communicate face to face when I can't be. Right? There is so much of what I do. I have kind of I can be sarcastic at times, if you can't tell that, and that will not come across via text message or email. It has been misinterpreted many a time. And so it's like this. I think this is systems technology, video.
And by video, you mean Bamban?
That's an option. I've used BombBomb for 10 years, maybe. I don't know, since the beginning. But Dub is a really great option. DUBB. They just don't have the built-in CRM, but they integrate with some other CRMs. I think their platform is smoother.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The mobile app, and on the back end, the insight that you have into how many words you're saying, any filler words that you're saying, like, it can really help refine your video skills and speaking ability.
Nice.
That sounds amazing, in the sense that every agent, like you said, they're their own CEO, so they have to know. And actually, we did a live earlier today where I was saying, if you're saying something useful, something informative, then it doesn't matter what you look like. If you think, well, I'm too old, I'm too this, I'm not enough of that. But if what you're saying sounds useful, and it is
right,
and it is presented in a way that people can appreciate, then it's a beautiful thing. That delivery. So I didn't know that there was a software that actually is going to give you feedback on how you're speaking. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it analyzes how many words you're speaking per minute, which some of us who are fast talking New Yorkers, sometimes if I'm in a certain part of the country, I have to really be diligently thinking about how I need to slow down. It's so hard for me. I sound like, in my mind, I'm like, I feel like the sloth at the DMV. If I talk at this pace, but that might be better in certain parts of the country. Your pace of your delivery, but then also the filler words. They teach you that at Toastmasters and organizations like that, where you start thinking about it rather than going, okay. You start, oh man, I say okay all the time. Then you'll realize it, and you'll just start sounding better. It takes practice.
Beautiful. Alex, were you about to say something?
No, we do that all the time with our team. I mean, not using a technology like Dub, but just like, go watch your own Zoom, go watch your own webinar, look for the words that you're repeating. We have a joke with one of our guys who says right all the time. Right, yeah, right. We agree. Okay, good. So you just look for those filler words, and I think agents in their communication to potential people they're working with, they need to look at their language, their conversation. Do they sound confident? If they're going, not sure, okay, that doesn't provide me a sense of confidence that you're going to sell my property.
Right. Do you think our house will sell?
Not sure.
Yeah, it should. Like, oh, thanks.
So let's go then to that level. Let's talk about all the agents who are ready and willing. Maybe they're not good at it yet, but they're saying, you know what, I am going to take the step. I am going to start doing video. What tips can you give them? Because one example I have is this lady that did one video every day, and she was doing cooking shows. She was showing people how she makes her pasta and her shrimp and things like that, because that was her idea. This is maybe going to help me attract my audience. She didn't do so well because I think in her delivery, she still sounded like she's in her own mind and world. She didn't make that connection out there with the people. So what recommendations would you give to those folks who are ready to go get on the, in front of the camera?
Well, I was going to say start your own cooking show,
Ah.
but I think sometimes it's what are you unconsciously competent at? Meaning, what can I talk about without thinking about? Because when you have to think about something, and that's where when I first started, doing video, it's like you're going and you're trying to think, so you can't be in that moment. So I think what do you really know about doesn't necessarily have to be real estate, but maybe it's real estate. Maybe you've been in real estate long enough. If I ask you, I'm thinking about buying a home, what would you say? We all have responses to that. And it's practice, but I think if you really want to just practice in the short term, start adding to your stories on a regular basis, because that's 15 seconds at a time. Nobody thinks about that as video. I mean, I guess it doesn't have to be video, but for me, it's always video most of the time. That's 15 seconds at a time, and it only lasts for 24 hours. And you could even delete it if you wanted to, but if you stay committed and say, look, I'm gonna do better with video. Hey, it's Jeremias, JMan Maneiro. I'm here, start my day, got my coffee, getting things done. I got a listing appointment, make it a great day. Boom, 15-second video. Then a little bit later on, I'm feeling good. Like whenever you feel good, do a video. If for me, my energy level's lower about 3:30 in the day, that's not going to be my time to say, oh, I'm going to start doing video. Like I'm a total morning person. I'm up early, 4:30 typically. And when I get out of bed, I'm like literally like you now I'm like, good morning, hello, how are you? Like my wife kicks me out of the house. I have to go do I have to run, I have to work out, do something to regulate my level of energy because I have ADHD at a high level and I'm unmedicated. And so that is my medication, like getting out, working out, and then the endorphins and everything. So my peak energy, my peak just to get things done is in the morning. And I know that, so figure that out for yourself.
I like that about being unmedicated and using social media to treatment. I'm sure you're not the only one. I'm sure there's a lot of people that have certain tics, certain ways how they like stuff. I know, Alex, you love to take sunset pictures and sunrise pictures, and you like to share your progress as you're getting back, getting in shape and all that stuff. Yes. And that's
Yeah, I love to share my paddleboarding experiences, my journeys out on the water. And two things I got from you is I love the idea of when you feel good, do a video. And then the other one for agents, because I think when I tell them to do video, they go, well, what if I do it? Can I delete it? It's like, all right, if you're so worried about it being deleted, well, yeah, stories is a great place because they will be deleted in 24 hours.
Right. This message will self-destruct.
Right. You don't like it? All right, it's gone. There you go.
So use that rather than trying to make up some new social media persona. Just be you, see what you already do. Me too. I like the mornings. So in the morning, and for me, nobody's awake. So sometimes I have to wait for people to wake up because I can't just start, texting and calling.
All right, man, hit me up. Hit me up. I'm up. Okay, there's not a lot of us.
That's so cool, and that's another thing. That's another book about that by the same author, by the way. Same author, Seth Godin, about permission-based marketing. He also has one called Tribes, and it's all about you put forth the things you love that you're passionate about enough times that people they come to you. They're like, yeah, that's that weirdo, that's my kind of weird. That crazy lady, that's my kind of crazy. I think that's really the secret.
Yeah, that's because as soon as Alex said sunrise, I'm like, okay, that's my dude. That's what, because it's like if there's this whole, this is how I feel. There's this whole world that exists before dawn, right? There's this whole world, and when that sun comes up, I feel like I've already won the day because the competition is still sleeping. Like that's my biggest. Like if I'm out and it's raining and it's snowing and the worse the conditions, the better it is for me. And I just feel like I've already won the day. And then the endorphins are kicking in. That's where it's like, you're going to get all kinds of things done.
There you go. There you go. So let's talk about new agents and not so new agents. I'm talking maybe 20, 30 years in the industry. That's
Yeah.
one of the biggest questions we get. I'm a new agent. What do I really have to say? Or I'm an old agent. What do I really have to say on social media? What would be your recommendations?
What you know about more than anybody else. It doesn't have to be real estate, right? You have this whole life, you have life experience. It's usually the 3 E's, right? We say education, experience, and a third E that I'm drawing a blank on right now. But, experience, like what did you do before real estate? Maybe you've lived in this area your entire life, right? Nobody, like I grew up in this town, the town where I live in, the town of Greece. I before real estate, I used to door knock, sell alarm systems door to door. I can tell you that nobody knows my town better than me. I've lived there my whole life, and I've knocked on almost every single door. So I bring that into real estate my very first day. You don't have a chance. I don't care if you have 30 years in the business. All you have is experience selling homes. I know this area better than anybody else, right?
Yeah.
What is a 30?
Yeah, I was just on with a manager yesterday, and I went on her Instagram, and she's like, travel, kayaking, mentor, coach. And I'm looking at her social media. I go, where are you on this? Like, where's the picture of you? Where's the video of you? Where's the kayaking? Where's the travel? Where's the anything? And she's like, oh, I'm supposed to put that there. It's like, yeah, and like that's the goods. The goods is like your life, who you are. Like we say, the biggest thing missing on social media when we speak to realtors is you. You're missing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So definitely focus on what you are good at, your expertise, your experience, and it doesn't have to be real estate. At what point do you marry it with real estate so that they know, okay, you're here for business?
I think, tying it in during while you're having a conversation with the client, it's important that you edify your company that you work for, but also what is it that you bring to the transaction that's different, and how your skills that you bring from your education, your experience, and everything that we've talked about, how can that make a difference to them in the real estate transaction? Let's say I went to school for accounting. I didn't. I went to school for business administration. But let's just say I went to school for accounting. This is one of the biggest investments of your entire life. Who do you think that can watch your bottom line better than somebody that has a degree in accounting? Just tying something in on the fly.
Okay. I mean, I really love the tips. I would like to know, I mean, I'm thinking here as we're having all these agents and brokers watching here, we don't want them to get overwhelmed with all this information. Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say? Listen, this is what I recommend. You're out here, you want to do this. What's the plan, Stan? Is it a 90-day plan, 6-year plan, 1-year plan? What are the steps?
It's a life plan.
A life plan. Okay.
Here's the thing. Like we're talking about social media and video. Like you can't go, hey, Mario, magic bullet. Here you go. Do one video. You're good. Walk away. You're a rock star. Right? I think you start in the beginning. Consistency is the key. Like if you're going to be committed to social media and you're going to do video or whatever, you got to do that for at least 90 days. Don't come to me and say, I tried it a couple times and it didn't work.
Yeah.
You didn't try anything. And if you want to really do it, then do it, or else you don't have what it takes, because it's not for everybody.
Wow. Really? Either get in or get out.
Look, if I played basketball 10 hours a day, I'm not making the NBA. I promise you. Okay, we have certain people. It's just, hey, maybe it's not for you. There's Walmart needs door greeters. There's people.
I appreciate that, because that tells me you're the first guest that's letting us know that this is not for everybody.
No, real estate is a challenging industry. I think it's over glamorized, and the cost of entry is too cheap to get in. What other business do you know that for $1,500 you could be selling, $500,000 investments for people? What other, right? You want to open up a Subway franchise, you're going to need, tens of thousands of dollars. But real estate, hey man, next week I'm good. I'm going to help you sell your home. So I think it's not for everybody.
Mm.
I think if you're not going to exceed expectations and really give your clients an experience, then refer it to those of us who will.
Wow.
I mean, you can still be licensed and give a referral.
Right.
I like it. So we're talking about, being a badass when it comes to your career and tackling real social media. You got to be really willing to play and be a champion at it. You can't just be.
Well, I think my dad told me when I was a kid, like, don't half-ass anything. Right? When I said I want to do something, he's like, do it, but do it 110%. Don't try to do it. Don't say, I'm gonna give it a try. Nothing bothers me more than people that say that. If you're gonna you want to really do social, it has to be part of your business plan. It has to be part of your daily strategy. It's not like, who can I hire that's gonna do this for me? Just like Alex said, like, you are you and have to be a part of it, because that's what I'm buying into. If I like, know, and trust you first, then we're gonna get to real estate. If I don't like you, or I don't know you, or I don't trust you, any of those three, forget about what company you work for, how much you sell, how much expertise you have. We're not going to get there because we're not going to do business.
I agree.
But what do you think about, whatever you think about people having mentors, coaches, or even?
I think that's very important. I think you need, and both, because you talked about newer agents and more experienced agents. I think those two can learn from each other, right? Like a reverse mentorship. The newer, younger agent who's good at technology and social media can help that experienced agent with what they know, and that experienced agent who has all of this transactional experience can help that younger, newer agent with everything that they have. So there's a reverse mentorship. It's symbiotic in a way. But then I think coaching is important because you need somebody to hold you accountable, right? And people go, well, what's coaching? You pay somebody too much money to tell you what to do, and they hold you accountable. Because if it was a little bit of money, you still wouldn't do it. It's got to be enough money that it will hurt if you don't do it and see results from it. And with the, having that mentor, though, somebody that you can talk to and say, here's what I think I should do. What do you think? It's somebody you can model your business after. So it's two different people, for sure.
Yeah, you got to put something at stake, as Mario always tells me. He's all right, you're not getting results. You're not getting results. I'm holding you accountable. It hasn't happened yet. You got to put something at stake. It's like, all right, let's go. $1,000 bet. whatever it is.
Right.
It's like, my girlfriend challenged me like a month ago. She's like, you need to get down to this weight. Like, you've been talking about it. I see some action. It's not consistent. All right, $1,000. I got down to the weight. It's like, once you put something
like for
at
me,
stake,
if I was if we were in competition and we said, hey, whoever loses the most weight by this date, I'd be like, oh, that's it, Alex. Let's go.
Yeah,
we got this. Or, because then it's a competition. And yeah, 100%. I agree.
That's one of my theories that I have, that I don't think anybody really likes to lose. It's just some people, they're not stimulated enough by the challenge that they just give up. But it's not because they're innately like to lose, is that they're like, well, it's too hard, too overwhelming, don't know where to begin. But if you can find that spot, that trigger point to get them turned on, be like, well, you might be in business for 30 years, but you're invisible. So you basically don't matter right now. You're irrelevant. Right. And they're like, really? Agent. And I think that's the secret. That's part of what you guys are saying, is you got to be real. Don't try to be what everyone else is out there doing, but see what it is about you that gets you excited, gets you passionate, and use that as your driving force to build your social media and your online presence. And then let them have it. People are going to follow you. People are going to like you. People are going to say, okay, I like that weirdo. Let's go.
Calling me weird, man. What's up? I think
we're all weirdos here.
Some people do like second place.
Oh, okay.
Because they're used to it. I think second place is easy. Second place, if you have enough excuses that you've generated in your mind that that are good enough for you to believe in, then you're fine with second place, right? And I'm like a highly competitive guy. If you did your research, I was on this show called Spartan Ultimate Team Challenge. We lost by 6 seconds. It's a team challenge. So it's not all my fault, but I will take responsibility. And so when people go, oh, second place still no, it's not. Second place, we didn't win. What matters is that if we would have won and brought home the money, but forget about the money. Well, just to go and compete and be the champion and know that you did everything in your power to do something without an excuse, like that's winning in my mind. Not the people that go, oh, well, we went against this team and they were really good and they really stacked the odds against us. Bullshit. Okay. What happened was you didn't train hard enough, or you underestimated your opponent. If it doesn't come back to you and how you train, like I think, man, you talk about competition. It's like some people are just average is okay for them. And I think when you get sick of that, or when you train yourself, we talk about fight or flight. I think Mario, when we met, we were talking about David Goggins and like, Google me, right? That's, and it's like, when you get to that fight or flight point where when something gets hard, if you've been in competitive situations in your life and you've trained yourself to then fight, right? And that comes back to like running and doing all these other things. And when you get to that point, those are the ones who are going to be champions. Because there's other people that they get to a certain point, they get tired, their knee hurts, and then they're like, running's not for me. I'm not a runner. We're all have a bear chasing you. We're all runners, right? You just don't have motivation. So I just got to find, just like you said, I think that trigger point is important, but just some people from a lifetime of just finding an excuse and believing in it are okay with it. And when you get to that point where you're not okay, that's where the true growth happens.
Well, that goes back to what you said. It's like, it's a life plan, right? Like if you're going to go get licensed as a realtor and you're not thinking it's a life plan, you're thinking, oh, let me go check it out, see how it is. I'm going to try to be a good realtor. I'm going to try to make it work. Maybe I'll be number 7 in the city that I live in. It's like, no, if you're not going to go for it, then don't go for it.
Yeah. Or you go on a listing appointment and the person says, oh, I used to be in real estate. I'm like, but you want to give me advice. Basically, you're somebody that you weren't good enough to do what I do for a living. And you want to tell me advice. Like there's no such thing as unemployed salespeople. Right? There's unemployed order takers. That's different. Like in this market, there's a lot of people that can go, oh, okay, Alex, you want to sell your house? And it sells. But when the market shifts, like I've been in since I said 2005. I lived through 2008, 2009, 2010, right? When they start to have a conversation with a seller about why their home hasn't sold after 120 days or more, right? I know it didn't sell now, but believe in me, we'll sell soon. The second place people are going to be like, we should take a break because the market's not that great.
So is this, it sounds like when you said this, like literally I went back to my mother who had her house on the market for over 2 years. She couldn't sell it. In the end, she actually did not sell it. I think, I don't know what happened, but ultimately she didn't get the money she wanted and she kept on waiting for this agent.
That was the key. Wait, that was the key right there, but go ahead.
Yeah.
The money she wanted rather than what the market was willing to pay.
Correct. Yes. And she didn't want to go lower. And the agent kept on telling her, you should go lower. And she said, no, I paid so much for this. But that tells me as a competitive agent, as a competitive individual, that's really where you get to see the difference, how they're going to tackle that situation, what they're going to recommend, how they're going to go to work.
Well, the weak agent takes the listing. The strong agent says, I'd rather turn you down now than let you down later. Right? Mrs. Hurley, I'm just guessing if that's her name. I'm not sure.
Yes.
We're just role playing. Mrs. Hurley, like, look, I don't see any way possible that your home in the current market conditions will sell at this price. I believe in being successful for all of my clients. Actually, Code of Ethics Article 1-3 says I can't misrepresent value. I can't come in here and tell you that your home is worth X when I told you here that it's worth Y. So, I can give you a list of a bunch of people that'll probably take the listing, but we're in the business of getting the home sold. Taking listings is not part of our business strategy. We don't take a listing. That's not how business succeeds. You sell houses.
That's beautiful. So you're already having your client be part of a winning game from the get-go.
If I don't I don't know how after a year that agent could. What can you say? What can you really say?
They didn't even bother to reply. My mom told me she called her, she would never call her back.
Because they were embarrassed. Because they realized that they did something that they shouldn't have done.
Mm-hmm.
And I that agent, I don't know if maybe they're doing well, but
yeah, I think that's important. I think you got to set the tone right from the beginning. Otherwise, you're going to be backpedaling. Right? You just got to be straight with the client right from the beginning.
And it's almost like when you turn down the business, it's like the girlfriend or boyfriend that said no to you, right? No, what do you? No, you can't say no to me. Hold on, wait, let me keep calling, right? And they're going to chase after you. It's the power of no.
So I love the fact that we're talking about if you're an agent and you want to do social media, the expression we use is you got to play to win. And you're saying you put in the effort, but for at least 90 days, dabbling doesn't count. I really try doesn't count. And ultimately, yes, have a strategy. Let's talk about that. What strategy do you recommend? What should be the ingredients of a quality strategy?
I think one that's destined for failure is when you're trying to be perfect. My favorite quote is focus on progress, not perfection. So if you're posting 0 times, how about we do 1 time per week? If you're doing 1 time per week, how about we do 3 times per week? If you're only doing image-based videos or just images at all, how about we start incorporating some video? So it's different for everybody, but let's really dive into it and see where can we get the most improvement. And when you look at the different platforms, what on each platform is performing the best, right? If I said Instagram, I'd say, man, if you're not doing reels right now, and if you're not trying to collaborate with people, you're missing the boat. Okay. Because they have a little dial on the algorithm juice that they can point in any direction that they want. It changes all the time. And when they launch a new product, they're going to give it that juice. So take advantage of that.
Yep. I say the same thing.
That collaborator, man, it's such a huge game changer. I feel like everybody's missing the boat on.
So okay, great. So the strategy definitely must include you having well, how's the way you put it? Collaborate and use the algorithm to your advantage.
Yeah, I mean, a strategy that isn't fluid will not be successful. I can't say right now, like if Alex sat down or you, Mario, I sat down and said, this is what you need to do. That should change next week. That should change in 2 weeks. Because you look on the back end, you talk to anybody that does any kind of social media, YouTube especially, you look at the insights, your audience will tell you the content to create. Right? You look at it and you say, okay, wow. I hate doing motivational quote posts, but they perform better than anything else.
Yes.
And if they interact with your stuff, then they're more likely to see you in the feed. So let me pepper that in. That's a good part of my strategy. And for me, sometimes it's like, I'll spend all the time in this one reel that I thought was going to be, oh, this is going to go viral. This is going to be great. And it flops, right? I launch it and then that's what I hear. Crickets, right? I hear crickets. That's it. And the one that I did quickly and just threw it up there performs well, but I have to pay attention to that. That's the key.
So progress, not perfection. And then check your results and make adjustments as you go. Don't be stuck with just one way. You got to be flexible.
Yeah. Like Bruce Lee said, be fluid like water.
Okay, beautiful. Alex, any additional questions?
No additional questions. I just think we were talking about it this morning we have a Thursday huddle with our team. And it's like, you're looking at the progress that you're making when you're setting a goal, but then there's like something that can shift, like a whole paradigm shift when you actually look beyond what you're actually knowing you're doing or what you know. It's like, and there's something that how'd you say it, Mario?
Well, what I said is, you know what you know what you don't know, and you know that you don't know it. But there's an entire whole available area that's called what you don't know, and you don't know that you don't know it.
Unconsciously incompetent. You don't know what you don't know.
Yes. Also called the blind spot.
So
Now,
that's
go
ahead.
No, please.
No, I was going to say, I mean, that's where people can really have a breakthrough when it comes to this, because I think everybody's looking at it from that, like the same, vision, kind of like the horses with the blinders, like, oh, it's social media, I just got to do it, just have to put it in there, or I'll just pay somebody to put it in there. But it's like there's this whole thing that they don't know that they don't know. And it's like when that finally clicks, it's like expansion, right? And I mean, that's got to go beyond yourself even. I mean, I think that's kind of the world we all live in, is like, okay, we're just going to expand, and then we're going to expand. It's like, how do I do all this stuff? I don't even know how to do this stuff. I wasn't even thinking about this stuff years ago. I just said, okay, I'm going to take it in and I'm going to do it. And I'm going to try this and I'm going to try that. And then I'm going to listen to this person. They got ideas. Let's bring that in. Let's bring this in and let's implement. And then it's like things are just exploding all over the place for you in business and life and everywhere.
Go ahead, Mario. I was gonna say, I love what you said when you're like this, like it's a chore.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that is the moment. So many agents, they do everything else, and in here at the bottom of that list is social media, and like, Alex said, JMan said, right? It's a chore.
Yes.
I think find what you enjoy. What part of it you might enjoy. Because if you follow dude, I love this. I love it. And if that passion doesn't ring true through this video and all the content that I create, I don't know what would, because I really do. If there's something that I don't enjoy doing, I won't be doing it, because I feel like you need to build a business and build a life. It's a whole everything that you enjoy every day. Like, I don't care what day of the week. I don't go, oh, it's Monday. I'm like, hell yeah, it's Monday. It's another day that I get to work. When you say I get to rather than I got to, then you realize like you're loving what you do.
Yep.
I love it. And I love the fact that all of our viewers and those of you folks that are going to be listening to the podcast, the opportunity is always there. Like, it's never going to be gone. Maybe in the past you just dabbled. Maybe in the past you quit halfway there and you got disappointed in yourself. You thought, this is not for me. But the reality is you do have an opportunity next. You want to take it on. Maybe this conversation we're having right now, the three of us, is that little reminder, like, hey, I'm going to say it, you're not a loser. You could win. You just have been playing the game in a way that doesn't work for you. Look what works for you and go there. I mean, JMan's style is like not my style. Alex's style is not my style. But as long as I'm clear about my style, I'm going to have a good time anyways.
Yeah. And I think there's a person out there that will consume your content regardless of who you are, your message, or your personality. 100% of the time. I think so many people suffer from what we call imposter syndrome, where they think like, I'm not good enough. Who would want to listen to me? And I'm like, who wouldn't? Why not you? I think when you can say that to yourself, right? And that's where like the vanity metrics with the likes and the comments and the shares that everybody's wrapped into, it's like, if you could say to yourself, look, if I do one video and one person watches that and that one person buys a home and I change their life, it was worth it. That was the one person. right? If I could find Mario's mom who didn't sell her home for 2 years and be her real estate superhero, that makes it worth it.
I like it. And we're looking at quality, not quantity. You might hear these people have 3 million views and so many followers. Good for them.
Right.
It's
Here,
you're looking for what's gonna give, huh?
I give him a round of applause.
Yay, good for you. I'm looking at what's gonna make me feel good. And maybe just that one old lady or that young couple. That made my day.
Yeah, and it really is when you're doing it for the right reasons. When you stop trying to do things for the money. Okay, if you talk to any speaker that's been around, don't do it for the money because you can get paid shit. Okay, to be quite candid, you don't get paid what you guys think. We don't have private cars to pick us up. There's many nights we spend sleeping in airports, but we do it because we want to make a difference, right? I like when I meet an agent who goes, "Yo, man, I was gonna quit real estate, but I took your class and you made social media, or you made technology, or you made video that easy, that adaptable to my business. I'm staying in it." Or that agent that just started, you see them 5 years later, they have a successful real estate show, online, a live show that you helped them create. All those things, when I can look back, it's 30 years from now, I'm not going to go, oh, I made X amount of money. I'm going to go, I changed all of these lives. And I think when you do that and you're doing it for the right reasons, then the business comes, regardless of the industry.
Yes, and I will recommend to both of you a movie called All the Money in the World.
I'll write that down.
Which is a great movie where you really look at life. Do you define the quality of your accomplishments by how much dollar amount you made, or what kind of a quality life did you have, and what kind of a quality person were you? This movie illustrates it in a very dramatic way.
All the money in the world.
All the money in the world. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to give a cool example. So I was talking about speaking. I spoke at this event yesterday. I was invited to be one of the people pitching for a pitch contest. And I'm pitching and all of that. And it's like, that's not even what I remember from yesterday. What I remember was an agent texting me that I had a 15-minute conversation with and asked her, so where's your contact database? And she goes, oh, I have it in the MLS. And I'm like, so you just have it for people you work with? What about like everybody else? She's like, oh, I never thought about that. Like, I didn't put that somewhere. I'm like, if you want to start email marketing, text marketing, you want to follow people on social media, you got to have a list somewhere. I don't care where. Could be a spreadsheet. Could even be a piece of paper to start with, right? Just got to start somewhere. And then she texts me. She's like, wow, you really opened my eyes. She's like, I went into my Gmail and I exported all my contacts. I have over 500 contacts in my Gmail. And it's like, she's like, that makes that like I have a database now. And I'm like,
right.
That's the moment I remember from yesterday.
Not all the people watching, all the judges, nothing?
No, that felt like a waste of time.
Well, very nice, JMan. I appreciate you coming on the show. I mean, you gave us a lot of fun, a lot of really great feedback from a perspective of somebody who, you're a go-getter, you're a winner, and you're here to tell people don't dabble, like really go for it 100%. And I think that's one of the things that is not always being said by most people. So I appreciate your feedback. I appreciate your humor and a little bit of sarcasm. And I would love to have you back, with us in the near future.
Thank you. Oh, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Excellent. All right, gentlemen and ladies, see you again on our next episode. And we are out.